is in order to be able to allow senators to efficiently interrogate the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration, who, as is appearing this morning before the plenary sitting, will be accompanied by the Inspector General of Police and the Chairperson of the Independent Policing Oversight Authority and the National Police Service Commission regarding the concerns that the members had raised in Tuesday afternoon sitting that saw the Speaker make that directive for the appearance of the top security organs. Now, during the motion, when the members or the security apparatus will be appearing before the Senate, the mess will be lowered, as is normally during a committee of the whole. However, this is with regards to the consideration over the matters that the members will, or rather raised yesterday. And the Cabinet Secretary will not be sitting at the front, or rather the right side of the Speaker. However, we shall be seeing them taking their positions at the back, that is right immediately next to the entrance of the Senate chambers, and they will be able to respond to the questions or concerns that the members of the Senate, as they convene this morning, will be having regarding the safety and well-being of arrested persons in police custody, and in particular the circumstances surrounding the death of Albert Ojwang. So the business this morning will commence as normal, but later the mess, which is normally raised up there at the dispatch, will be lowered, as is in a committee of the whole for this particular motion, or for the invited guests to be able to engage the House on the questions or the concerns that the senators have this morning. So if you're just joining us, is that the House is about to commence its business. The quorum of the House has not been raised yet. There is a quorum hitch. We have just seen the leader of the majority party counting the members already inside the chambers to see whether the quorum has been raised yet. However, if that quorum bell is not on, then clearly it means that the quorum has not been raised. But as you can see at the entrance of the chambers, members making their way inside. Once that quorum is raised, then we shall be able to let you into the proceedings that will be taking place this morning. As is the tradition, the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration, who had earlier on been invited or was expected to appear before the Senate to respond to concerns by the members, coincidentally happened that this morning will be required to be accompanied by top security apparatus in the country, and that is the Inspector General of Police, the Chairperson of the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, and the National Police Service Commission. All this stemming from the concerns that have been raised by the senators on matters of well-being and safety of Kenyans in police custody. And of course, you will recall that all this has been with regards to the circumstances that surround the death of Albert Ojwang on Tuesday, as the members of the Senate responded to a statement by one of their own regarding the situation on the death of Albert Ojwang, vehemently condemned that particular situation or occurrence, indicating that the late Ojwang, much as he had been arrested, would have been taken to the local police station in Homa Bay County, and the proceedings or the matters with regards to any issues concerning his arrest and any accusations or charges that were being leveled against him be handled from the local courts, and were raising concerns on why he had to be transferred all the way to Nairobi, and thereafter his untimely demise. So those are concerns that the members of the Senate this morning will be seeking answers to, and not just from the Cabinet Secretary, but also from the Inspector General of Police, Douglas Kanja, who will be accompanying the Cabinet Secretary to help him give responses or explanations to that particular issue, as the members of the Senate will be interrogating the Cabinet Secretary to be able to get answers to the questions or the concerns that members of the public also have. And the session or the sitting, as you can see, has commenced. Normally, we are just waiting for the quorum to be attained. Remember, during the interrogation time inside the Senate chambers, the mess will be lowered, but the Speaker will stick to his position where he normally sits and be able to guide the proceedings. And of course, we expect that the Speaker as well, before the whole session begins, will give a communication to the members of the Senate to be able to make the public understand on the program, or how they allow me to hand over to the business.
Take your seats. Clerk, you may proceed to call the first order, please.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers. Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
Next order. Next order.
Order number 8, the Business Laws Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 51 of 2024. Second reading, mover to reply.
Majority Leader being the mover of this business, you may now proceed to reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank all the colleagues who took time to speak to this very, very fundamental bill with regards to making Kenya a globally competitive business hub. Mr. Speaker, like I mentioned when I was moving this bill, this is perhaps the most bold of reforms that we have seen in creating Kenya into a competitive business environment and making sure that we can compete globally. And I observed, Mr. Speaker, that there is nothing out of the ordinary that we are actually doing as a country. We are doing what others have been able to do and ended up being better than us, even in spaces that we excelled in. There are countries, Mr. Speaker, that came here in the 60s, 70s, in the 80s, copied the things that we were doing, and have now since done them better than us, and have their sectors actually performing better than ours, thanks to perfect implementation of laws as they are. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, and I listened to many colleagues when they spoke to this bill, we don't seem to appreciate that the world is evolving and doing so at an extremely fast pace, Mr. Speaker, and therefore presenting us with the need to ensure that as a society, as a country, we do things like they are done in other parts of the world. Mr. Speaker, there seems to be a lack of realization on our part as a country that when those with the means and the ways to move the economies of the world sit down in their offices in the poshy capitals of the world, they don't look at us from an empathy perspective. They look at us in form of numbers. How competitive are we? How easy is it to do business in this country, Mr. Speaker? And there are so many bureaucratical bottlenecks, Mr. Speaker, that reduce us and have made us to be a laughing stock. Many people, Mr. Speaker, if you speak to people in the business world, and I have seen, if you recall, Mr. Speaker, last year, I think you led us in Mombasa. We had engagement with KEPSA, Mr. Speaker. And you listen to the kind of things they were telling us, why they feel that as a country, as parliament, that is the legislature, we need to up our game and ensure, Mr. Speaker, that we amend the various laws, Mr. Speaker, to make them compliant with the demands of the 21st century. And therefore, I listened to the colleagues that shared their thoughts, with quite a number of them proposing various further amendments, which I want to appreciate. I hope that all the senators that actually spoke and proposed amendment to this bill will ensure that they file them, Mr. Speaker, so that as we move towards voting in the committee of the whole, which probably I suspect should be when we return from the recess, Mr. Speaker, we are actually able to do it, Mr. Speaker. So I appreciate and I want to urge senators, maybe those who may not have had time to contribute to this bill, it's still important that you read it. This is an extremely important bill. It's one of the things that you'll be extremely proud of yourself later on when you look at reports from sectoral performance, from tourism, horticulture, agriculture subsector, because all those parts of many of those laws are being actually amended to make sure that our sectors compete with the very best in the world, including BPO space, which we do so well. We have the ability, Senator Catherine, to be extremely competitive. People keep on asking us, with no offense to Indians and Philippines, that we speak better English than them. And they don't understand why our BPO space employs over and above probably 100,000 Kenyans, while in those two countries, they do, at the very minimum, 3 to 4 million people, something that we can compete with. And they have led us into listening and appreciating